apologize for the horrendous lighting and it's pouring down rain outside, but we thought we would try to sort of record this and see what happens. So I'm just gonna give her some makeup tips and tricks today, help her with some product choices, and we'll do a before and after. And
yes, this is obviously the before.
Yes, I asked her to come with no makeup on, and so actually that brings me to a really good point, is that when you start to do your makeup, I always say makeup is only as good as the canvas it is applied upon, so makeup prep is super important. So I always encourage my clients, or if you're doing your makeup for a night out or something, you always want to prep your skin, so exfoliation is key, and then apply moisturizer and let that soak in so that your skin is ready for makeup. Alright, so today I'm going to put on this Becca First Light Priming Filter, and it has a little bit of a lavender shade, which is really nice, especially this time of year, just like brightening and energizing your complexion.
So primer does what?
So primer evens out your texture.
Okay.
Certain ones are tinted, so they will even out your texture and your tone, but it smooths out your texture, and it will make everything that you apply over it go on more smoothly and last longer. It's like when you paint your walls in your house. You wouldn't paint wouldn't just slap paint on your walls without priming them first, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. So the other thing I also recommend is that everybody should have a handheld mirror in their house to do your makeup, because rather than looking straight at yourself in the mirror, then it's hard to so you have to like manipulate your face to get the angle right, whereas if you have a mirror, you can manipulate the mirror. So it's much easier to do your makeup if you have a mirror plus. Okay, so we're gonna start with shadow primer. It's the same idea as face primer. Okay. It's gonna smooth out your eyelid and make everything you put over it go on smoother and last longer. So this is the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer that I love. Okay, so you can tell I'm just starting at the base and just blending it up and out. So here's one little trick, and this is why you're using this. Okay. You're gonna raise your chin and glance down into the mirror. And do you see now you have an even canvas? You were squinching before.
Oh,
so this way you're not squinting and you can see what you're doing. So that's where this mirror is really handy. So raise your chin. I know it's a little weird.
It is, yeah.
It's like riding a bicycle. We're gonna pop an eyeshadow over top of that, and that's like, again, it's like you're priming your walls. So that's like your starting point for any makeup look. So even then, if you just want to put on mascara, that's fine. Or then if you want to apply more shadow over that, that's always your starting point, is the primer and the shadow. So for a base shade, I always like to recommend a yellow-based flat eyeshadow. The reason being, yellow-based, it takes any redness out. Okay. And it just makes you look brighter and more awake. And you don't want, I always talk about women that are 35 and up with shimmer, it can be a little bit tricky. So this is just a matte shade that'll just kind of, it's like Spanx.
Yeah, Spanx for my eyes. I need that.
So you just want to take a little bit, you always want to shake off the extra, because see what comes out of there, that's how you get splotches. Oh. And now you can raise your chin and look down in your mirror. There you go. And so I'm just gonna push this into your eyelid. People always ask me about, there's that where you put highlighter under your eyebrow bone, which I think that's a really great way to like visually lift up your face a little bit. But again, you want to make sure that the highlighter you put under here is flat, no shimmer. Okay. So that's with this yellow-based eyeshadow. You can start at your eyelash line and then take it all the way under your eyebrow bone here, and that will act as a natural highlighter. But you definitely want to stay away from shimmer under the eyebrow bone. That was we did that in the 80s. Yeah. Okay, so you can see how we just evened out and smoothed out your eyelid. If you want, you like took any redness out. So even that, you don't have a lot of redness, but with some women, that step, like, it makes the biggest difference. Oh, wow. Like, oh my gosh, like I look already like I got 8 hours of sleep. So again, you can just do that, put on mascara, or curl your lashes, put on mascara, be good. But we're gonna go a little bit further today. So I do love a little bit of a shimmer just in the center of your eyelids. I'm gonna use this champagne shade here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury palette that I love. I use this every day. I use all the colors in it. It's super flattering. It has everything you need in it to do a full face of makeup. It's great for travel. So I'm gonna use this champagne and just pop it right in the center of your eye, just right where your eyeball is. And again, you can blend it up and out. And you can certainly apply shimmer all over your eyelid, but if you're not sure where to apply it, that's a good place to put it. And you'll see this just really brightens up your eye. So for an everyday makeup look, that's pretty much the only place we're gonna put a little bit of shimmer. It's just on your eyelid. Okay. And now we're gonna just contour your eye. You're like me, you have deep set eyes. So I actually like to focus on liner and mascara for eyes like us because I feel like that really brings them forward and brightens them up visually. Okay. But we're just gonna do a little bit of a crease just to enhance bone structure a little bit. And I'm gonna use this. I'm afraid this mirror is gonna like
blind everyone.
So this is the shade we put on the lid, and then this is what I'm gonna use in your crease. And I'm gonna take this brush, which I like to call a windshield wiper brush, because that's how we're gonna use it, like a little mini windshield wiper. So I put the color just on the tip of the brush, and this is where it kind of starts to get more important to shake off the extra, because now we're working on a little bit of a darker shade. So if you're gonna raise your chin and look down, you're gonna just start at the outer corner here. See that? And just go back and forth like a little windshield wiper. And you can go all the way in, but you wanna focus the bulk of the color out here, because what that will do visually is just
look.
Yeah. Look at me. There you go. See the difference?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Let me block you. Yeah.
I'll do a little more. So that's another thing I love to say to my clients. Doing makeup is like cooking with salt. You can always add more salt, but if you add too much in the beginning, it's really hard to fix it. So layering is really key. So you can add another layer until you feel happy with the intensity, you know, but this way you don't want any hard lines on your face. You want to keep it soft. So that's key. I'm gonna have you do the other side. So now we're gonna do eyeliner, and this is how I like to teach eyeliner. I generally, for everyday makeup, don't love a pencil because I find that women have a super hard time getting it right and applying it, so you're like yanking on your eyelid and like trying to get the pencil in there, and you're like, that doesn't look right, and then it starts melting off your face because it's wax based, so when wax heats up it starts to melt. So I like to use a brush like this, which is it's flat on the top, it doesn't have an angle. I like to call this the press and wiggle brush, and I'll show you why, but it's usually called a flat eyeliner brush. And here's a really good trick. You spray it with the setting spray. You just want to dampen it with the setting spray and then go into your color, and this will make it last all day long. It won't make it. So I love black, and people always get a little bit cringy, but I apply a really, really thin line to the base of your eyelashes, so it doesn't even look like you're wearing liner. It looks more like you have super thick eyelashes. It's like we're creating an illusion. Okay, so here's what you want to do. Same thing. Yep, hold it a little bit closer there. Can you see? So you're gonna start at the outer corner and like press and wiggle. Do you see that? Press and wiggle. And then you're gonna go in a little bit, press and wiggle. Keep looking in the mirror. There you go. Press and wiggle. And what that does is what I just said, it creates this nice thin line just right along your eyelashes. So it doesn't even look like you're wearing eyeliner. Do you see the difference?
I'm gonna do it this way. Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and it's a very natural way. So what I would like to do is finish this eye. We're gonna curl your lashes and put mascara on, and then you can compare the two. Okay, so I say everybody, if you wear no makeup at all, I say that you should own an eyelash curler because it just really wakes up your eyes. But a lot of women do it incorrectly. So what they do is they get close to the base of their eyelashes, and then they squeeze really, really hard and like put kind of like a crick into their eyelashes, which looks funky. What you want to do is like curl them gently so they kind of go up and out. So you're going to put your eyelash curler onto your eyelashes.
Okay.
At the base, squeeze gently, let go, move up, squeeze gently, let go, move up. So you're kind of like creating like
Movement.
an up and outward.
So how long should mascara last?
That's a really good question. That's another reason I don't like to spend a lot of money on mascara. I always find that drugstore is fine. Every 2 to 3 months,
Okay.
because you're using it so close to your eye and there's such a high chance of getting germs in there that I just find it's better to replace it frequently.
Okay.
Okay, so look down. And you want to wiggle it at the base and then wiggle it all the way up. So you're really coating the lashes all the way from, okay? From base to tip. And then once you've done that, you can take the tip and just enhance the outer corner a little bit. You're like my mom. You're very nervous with your eyes.
I know.
Gosh, that Okay, so now I want you to look at the difference in your eyes. Hold on. I want you to look at one eye versus the other eye that we coated with mascara.
Oh wow, yeah.
Big difference.
Big difference. Yeah.
Look how much more wide awake you look.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna now
Optical
do
illusion.
the other side.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use this Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation on you, and I love using a beauty blender, but I'm just using a disposable sponge today because for hygiene reasons. But the idea is the same. So you're just gonna take your beauty blender that's damp,
Okay.
and make sure it's damp, and then you just take it into your foundation and you just want to bounce it onto your skin where you need it most, which is for women usually through the center of your face and on your chin and your forehead. Most women don't need foundation here, which is where a lot of people just like to put it everywhere. So that's where you end up with that line of demarcation.
Yeah.
So you want to blend it down, but you want to focus most of the product just in the center of your face.
So I should do foundation before concealer?
Yes, that's a really good question. So foundation, I think we touched a little bit about this at Sephora last week, but you're not using foundation to cover anything up. Foundation is there to even out your skin tone. So you want to apply a light layer of foundation, and then you want to go back in with your concealer and fix any flaws that you're concerned with. So like your under eyes, or if you have
I might, you never know.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
So you're just using the foundation to smooth out your skin tone, and then so I also find that if you're doing it that way, then you're using a lot less concealer and a lot less foundation. Okay, so now we've evened out your skin tone with foundation, so now we're putting on concealer, and this is that NARS. I love this concealer because it has a matte texture, but it's not drying. It's still like very creamy and emollient, so I'm just gonna put a little bit under your eye area. So a lot of women use concealer that is too light for them, so then you end up with that raccoon look.
Yes.
So you really want to use something, if dark circles are a concern, you want to use something that has a little bit of a peach undertone, and it should match your skin tone fairly closely, so it shouldn't be lighter than your skin tone. And I like to just put it on, and you can press it in with your fingertips like this. And you don't want to apply concealer here. So a lot of women take concealer and they just kind of like go whoop, and they just apply like a lot of it under their eyes. Concealer is a super dense product, so you actually don't need a ton of it. And that way it can settle into your fine lines and wrinkles if you're putting too much on. So this way, I just put a little bit and press it in. Now I'm blending it out. It's the same fluffy brush that I used to put your eyeshadow on. And it just does a really nice job of blending it out. Now concealer, because again it's such a dense product, it can tend to settle in to under here, and that's totally normal. That doesn't mean it's a bad concealer, it's just what concealer does. So if you do your makeup and you find that it's doing that, let me do the other side here real quick. You can take, I always say makeup looks its best about 45 minutes after you apply it because it gives it a chance to like warm up on your skin a little bit and settle in. So maybe, you know, the last thing you do before you go out is just check yourself in the mirror, make sure there's anything that needs fixing. And if you find that you do have a little bit of creasing under here, you can take a fluffy brush again and my setting spray.
Setting spray is, it gets a lot of use.
It gets a lot of use. People don't realize all the different ways you can use it.
No idea.
Then you can just blend out the creases underneath with this brush, and that'll help them. It'll help set it so that won't happen again. And you can also apply a little setting powder underneath there as well. And then you really don't need any concealer anywhere else. Maybe if, you know, if a little redness around the nose area. There's a little tiny red spot right there. So that's how you achieve a flawless complexion without looking cakey or anything like that. You just then go back and fix any issues that you feel you have. All right, you want to look at that?
Oh wow, that's great.
And then we're gonna set the whole thing with just a little bit of powder. So I'm just gonna, we bought this together. It's the Ambient Light powder from Hourglass, and it's a great setting powder. So I'm just gonna take my pointy brush here and just go under the eye area, look up for me, and through the T-zone to set our foundation. And this this does have a little bit of illuminating particles, so we can probably put this on our cheekbones, but in general you want to just be very careful and don't use too much powder, because I personally like that kind of glowing, illuminated look. Okay, and now we can do your eyebrows. I haven't done those yet because we didn't want to mess them up again with doing our foundation and concealer. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So I just take a little, actually this product has the spoolie brush.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, a lot of them now have the spoolie brush. And so you just wanna brush out your eyebrows. Okay, now if you wanna take a look in your mirror, maybe go this way.
Yeah.
So what a lot of women do when they apply their eyeliner pencil is they start here and start blending it in. But if you look at your eyebrow carefully, most of your eyebrows actually are here. That's not where you need it. You need it more right here. So for the most natural look, you want to start filling in the sparse areas first. And that'll prevent any hard-looking eyebrows, which I think can be really aging. So you really want to make sure your eyebrows look full and natural. And I think that's one key thing to really looking as youthful as possible. It's just being very light-handed. But do you see the difference? I literally just filled in, I didn't even touch this area except to brush it. So what you could do, if you're very lucky you have nice full brows, so if you have a little bit of sparseness here, you could go in and fill in a little bit. But really, you don't need it there. You need it mostly just in the arch area there. See the difference? And again, if you have a nice arch, then it just does a lot. Okay, you want to try the other side?
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, so the other key thing to remember with eyebrows is that they're sisters, not twins. So they don't look exactly the same, and that's totally fine and normal. You just want to follow the natural arch, but you don't want to try to make them look identical. It will throw your face off balance.
Okay.
Okay. What tends to happen when you put on your foundation and powder, you look very flat because we've just evened everything out. So now it's time to bring a little bit of bone structure back and enhance those with a little bit of blush and a little bit of bronzer and a little bit of highlighter. Okay, and that's another thing. Women always say, oh, can you show me how to contour my face? And I cringe when women say that to me, because A, that's for pictures and in magazines. If I contoured you and you walked out into the everyday life, people would be like, She's crazy looking, and it's not, it doesn't work for everyday life, and it can also be very aging. We just want to apply a little bit of bronzer where the sunshine would naturally hit you anyway to warm up your face a little bit, and then add a little bit of blush just to give you that look of you just had a nice walk. And that's it. It's just all about enhancing and making us look our best.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to go back to this palette because it has everything in here that we need. So I'm going to first start with bronzer, and I'm going to use the same brush. And you just want to apply a little bit of bronzer.
Start with bronzer.
Yeah, you start with bronzer. What did you start with?
Blush.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, what you want to do is apply this to the high planes of your face where the sun would naturally hit you. So if you want to look in the mirror, you raise your chin. So we're going to start up here and do like a backwards 3. And see, it's very subtle. You don't ever want anybody to say to you, I love your bronzer. What is it? It means you did it wrong.
Why?
You want people to say, oh my God, you look gorgeous. What have you done different? Okay, so this is where the cooking with salt thing comes in. So we just did 1.
Okay.
Right, so now we're going to do another one, and you're going to start to see just a little bit of warmth coming back into your cheeks. Do you see that?
I do.
And we're going to do it one more time, and you always, this is where you don't want to end up with a blob of bronzer, so this is where the shaking off of the product comes in, and then you kind of just want to go. So it's a teensy weensy bit of contouring, but it's like real life contouring for every day, but you can see the difference. You want to put it on your cheekbones, not under, right? So again, that's like a key difference with when people contour. They're like sucking your cheekbones and like they put the brown under there. So, okay, and then you're just gonna pop a blush on the apples of your cheeks, and I mix these together.
Okay.
And you're just gonna smile at yourself in the mirror and just pop it right on the apple, right there, and just blend it up and out.
Cute.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. So up and out. Like that?
Yep, just like that. All right, very good. And then the last thing you're gonna do is just pop a little bit of highlighter on, and this palette has a highlighter, and I like this one. Again, it doesn't really sparkle or glitter, it just has a little bit of sheen. So I just take the brush, and you wanna very sparingly just pop it right above where you just put your blush. And then on the other side. And then I like to just pop a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and just right in there, just to illuminate my whole face.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
And that's it. We're just gonna put some lip color on and some setting spray, and you are ready to go. So,
oh, too big.
Wait. So that's another really good thing. It's not as big of a deal with lip gloss. I talked about this in my other tutorial. Women love to put their lip liner or lipstick on and go like this.
Yeah.
And put it on. But when you do that, you can't see your lip shape, right?
Right.
So what you want to do is just relax your mouth and keep it closed, and then apply. It's not so much of a big deal with gloss but especially when applying lip liner, you want to make sure you're following the contours of your natural lip shape, which is really hard to do when you're going like that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
So same for lipstick.
Yeah.
Too. Oh wow. Okay.
So just go ahead, put that on. And so lip liner, I've in the past stayed away from it, but I have found that as I've aged, I needed it again a little bit more. So the best way to apply a natural looking lip liner is to do it after you apply your lip gloss. So I like to go in after I put on my gloss and just short, even strokes define my natural lip shape. And then you're steering clear of those harsh lines. Close your mouth for me. See, now it's key that I can see your shape of your lips. Make it look as natural as possible. Okay, and this is my favorite all-nighter setting spray. What this will do too is blend everything once it dries and make it look soft and pretty, and it'll make everything last all day.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry again for the lighting, but I hope you guys found this helpful. And maybe if you guys enjoyed it, we'll do a couple of more like this sometime.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.